This is the Idiot Entrepreneur Podcast with
John
and Kelley, where no one is smarter than you. We're all just a bunch of idiots figuring out business and life one day at a time.
Hey, Kelley, how you doing today?
I'm good. What's up, you idiot?
Yeah, thanks for calling me an idiot, you fool.
This is our podcast.
I know. All right, yeah. So I'm doing well. It's
I didn't ask how you were.
well, I asked myself.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I just asked myself how I was doing, and I'm doing well. Today is May 7th, 2020, and it looks like there's some signs of life in New York City. From what I can see, some places are opening back up, and that's really great to see. I'm really excited to get things rolling back to normal again.
Agreed.
Good. Yeah, so, actually, quick story here before we start, guys. The ties to being an idiot is right now during the coronavirus in our industry, the cleaning industry, there's a lot of commercial cleaning companies doing sanitization for other businesses so they can reopen back safely to the public. And it's interesting because I connected with one of our competitors that we've met before. And when I spoke to this person, I was absolutely floored as to how truly clueless they were, despite coming off on social media like they knew what they were doing. It's actually it's surprising, but it's also not surprising. This ties in directly to the podcast in the sense that everybody's truly an idiot, and
No one is smarter than you.
yeah, no one's smarter than you. That's 100% true. Everybody's an idiot, and I was just blown away. I was truly blown away.
Yeah, it's funny because I always kind of see stuff from this company, and I always get frustrated, and I think, you know what, they're like a step ahead of us, or maybe they're doing better than us. And what you come to find is actually it's just, appearances are not always what they seem. So it was kind of one of those things. It was funny. We just thought, man, like we're not even listening to our own advice, which is no one is smarter than you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic confirmation that people could come off like they know what the hell they're doing, but they don't know shit. And even though despite coming off like they're polished, in reality, they don't know shit.
But even the ones that do know stuff, there's still stuff they don't know. So don't ever be intimidated by other companies. Don't pay attention to other companies. Do your own thing, and
do your own thing, and don't focus on the competition. Just do you. Because the truth is, everybody learns along the way. Nobody's born knowing all this shit as you go. So that was a quick little story, kind of off topic. But today's topic, we're going to talk about hiring myths, attitudes towards hiring. So we're going to talk about the general attitudes that a lot of people have towards hiring. And we were going to hit on 3 points. But we could write literally probably a book or even a course or courses on hiring. We've learned so much over the years. What did you say, Kelley, to that?
Yeah, I mean, hiring is a really complex topic, and something that we sucked at for a long time, but we've become very good at it. And it's something we're always improving. So we have a lot of different advice to give, a lot of practical advice. But I think the first thing that we really need to talk about before we get into any of the practical is the attitudes towards hiring, because there's a lot of toxic attitudes when it comes to hiring, and for good reason. But there's a lot of myths, I guess you could say, things that people believe about hiring that's just not true. So we're going to dispel those myths for you and kind of get your mind right and make sure that you're in the right headspace so that you can hire effectively.
Exactly. So step one, dispelling the myths, 3 points underneath that. Point number one is the myth that there are no good employees where I live. This is a really big one. A lot of people, when they're hiring, they tend to hire, and they just have this shit streak of hiring nobody in their eyes that's good. And, they just believe that, there are no good employees where they live. What would you say to that, Kelley?
Yeah, I think especially if you live like in a small town, a lot of people think, there's hardly any people that live in my town. There's definitely nobody good here. If I live somewhere bigger, there'd be so many more good employees to choose from, and that's just not true. I mean, it doesn't matter how small of a town you live in. I mean, look around. Are there other businesses? Are there other businesses operating successfully? The answer is yes, right? It's rhetorical. Yes, there are. And I am pretty sure they have some decent employees. It's not that everybody has terrible employees and it's just not possible to get some. That's just, it's an excuse.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's a big excuse. I think most people don't really, they're just using that as a reason to not believe that they actually can't hire somebody good. And the truth is that when you hire people and you hire somebody that's a wrong fit within your company, it's really your fault. It's not the employee's fault. It's the person who's doing the hiring. It's 100% their fault. So if you're the business owner and you hire someone who is really shitty, a real shit employee, it's your fucking fault.
Yeah, you need to look at yourself. Maybe you don't have the proper systems in place, the proper discipline, the proper training, onboarding. Maybe you have a terrible culture. Like there's so many things to look at, but you got to point the finger inward. And this really is something, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say there are no good employees where I live, that is all you're going to see. And this kind of ties into the RAS, which if you don't know what that is, John,
I know what it is.
I know you do. It's a reticular activating system. So this is, a part of your brain that starts to notice things, and focuses in on things. So for example, an example that everybody knows, if you really get into a certain car, let's say you
buy a new car.
Yeah, you bought a new car.
Yeah.
You bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Actually, my sister just did, and now all I see are Jeep Grand Cherokees.
That's actually true.
Yeah, I didn't notice them before, but now that my brain has kind of zeroed in on it, I see them absolutely everywhere. And that's an example of the RAS. So what happens is if you say there's no good employees, I can guarantee you every employee that walks in your door is going to be crap. And it's not because they're all crap. It's because you're only focusing on the crappy employees. Your brain literally shuts off to the good employees, and all you see is the bad. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's what you focus on too. Like Kelley was saying, it's definitely 100% what you really zone in on and hone in on. As what's that?
I don't know.
Oh, did it rhyme?
Zone and hone and drone.
Yeah, I'm a good rhymer.
You are.
Busta Rhymes over here. Or Biggie Smells.
Okay. It smells.
Biggie Smells, yeah. Oh, man. Rest in peace. Yeah, so... Okay, so that's a good point. So don't give yourself excuses. There's definitely good people where you live. You're not experienced enough to identify those people, and you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, or you just have a bad attitude about it, and you're gonna miss out on all the good people because all you're seeing is negative.
Yeah. All right, that's all good points. I don't have anything else to say on that point.
Yeah, no, let's go on to number 2. So point number 2 is it doesn't matter what kind of employees I have. So what we mean by this is, you just say, it doesn't matter if I have great employees, if I have shitty employees, I just need people to do a job and, basically get the shit done and go home. And that could not be further from the truth. That is actually... 100% of the equation in a business are your employees.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, especially if you own a business that serves customers or clients or are customer facing type business like retail store, or in our industry, commercial cleaning that serves customers directly, usually after hours, but we serve some clients that hire us to staff them while they're operating, like gyms or studios, things like that. And if you have people that don't represent your core values and represent you poorly, it's going to hit you in the face so hard. It's going to come back to bite you tenfold. And that really sucks. I mean, what I'm trying to get here is that you got to make sure you have strong core values to make sure that you have great employees.
Yeah, so I mean, what we're going to get into in other episodes is that, good hiring is all based around core values, having strong core values and making a point to let everybody know what those are. We're not really going to get into that too much right now, but basically, if you have, saying it doesn't matter what kind of employees you have is just foolish. I mean, even if, let's say you have a handful of really good ones, but you have a big handful of really bad ones. Those good ones are not going to stick around because the bad ones are going to make it crap for them. Good employees don't want to be around bad employees. Good employees don't want to be around a crappy culture. Bad employees don't really care. Maybe they'll stick around for a little bit, but they won't have any ties to you. So they'll leave you hanging the first chance they get, or the first day they don't feel like coming to work.
Yeah, they'll no call, no show.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely matters what kind of employees you have. And you need people that buy in to your core values, to your culture, that feel connected, that care about what they're doing, that care about you and your mission. And when you have those kinds of employees, everything is just smooth sailing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, because every time, if you have 30 employees, if your whole company is made up of people who suck, your business is going to be a living goddamn nightmare. I mean, you're going to hate what you do. You're going to hate going to work. You're going to hate dealing with people, your employees on a day-to-day basis. And you're going to regret every single moment of it. And believe me, that sucks really bad.
Not to mention that it's going to completely tarnish your brand.
Yeah, it'll screw up your brand.
Or your product or whatever you have.
Yeah, that's very true. It'll screw up your brand or product, and your company will just disappear, because really, without good people, you don't have a company. I believe that 1,000%. Without great people, I mean, nothing else really matters, because those people are the people who are doing the work, especially frontline employees. You got to make sure those people mesh 1,000% with your core values and represent you in the best possible light. There's no exception to that. And if you hire someone who doesn't fit the mold or comes off as they do, and they actually really don't, you got to let them go. You can try to address it, but if they're still being a pain in the ass or doing really poorly, representing you in a really bad light, you got to cut them loose quick.
Yeah, it's slow to hire, quick to fire, and that's a pretty common saying in business, but it could not be more true. It's we found that to be true 100% of the time. Every time that we've waited to fire somebody who didn't fit in, we've always regretted it.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, anytime we've waited to terminate someone that should have been terminated a long time ago, we've regretted that every single time. So yeah, slow to hire, quick to fire. So that's point number 2. So point number 1 was no good employees where I live. Point number 2 was hiring myth. Doesn't matter what kind of employees I have. Our last point here is all employees are a pain in the ass or a necessary evil. So this point is also a common myth. I mean, it's very true actually that some employees can be the biggest pain in the ass you'll ever meet, and those are the ones you either try to correct really quickly, and if they still can't do it, you got to fire them quick. And that's 100% true for every organization. So some people can be a true pain in the ass by nature. That's what they are. They're always an issue. They bring up problems. They cause problems that don't exist. They just are a waste of your energy and the air around you, literally. But that's not true. Not everybody that you hire is a pain in the ass. That's a major, major falsehood, because all employees, not all employees are a pain in the ass or a necessary evil. There's a lot of good people out there if you look and know how to find them. And that's a key, is to know how to find those people and how to weed out those people.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to the RAS that I mentioned before, where you start to focus in on things. If you have the attitude that employees are a necessary evil, then they will be, right? Yeah. They're just going to be those things that are, you begrudgingly hire people and they do an okay job, and you just are kind of miserable. But what you need to look at it is that employees are they're critical. They're critical to your business, and you have to
treat them right.
Yeah, treat them right, but also just realize how important they are.
Where did I come up with that?
I don't know. Well, I was losing my train of thought, so that was helpful. But yeah, you have to realize how critical they are to the success of your business, and see them as a necessary good, right? You have to have them, but you need to see it as good, not evil. And I think, the reason that we're saying all this, it might seem like foo-foo or fluffy, I don't know, but it is just, this is lived. We have gone from a living hell with employees. For a long time, we were hiring the biggest psychotic pieces of crap idiots you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, people who aren't employable, like literally. Yeah.
Shit that we couldn't even make up. I'm trying to think
from getting stood up to one of our employees showering on site.
Yeah, we had an employee take a shower at one of our client sites,
which was a doctor's office.
Yeah, we had what else do we have? We've had somebody brought they filled their water bottle with alcohol and told us that that's what was in their water bottle.
Yeah, they were drunk while they were cleaning.
Yeah, we've had people steal. We've had we've had funny ones
we had
too.
Remember the one dude that brought in a log? Yeah, we cleaned a veterinary hospital and one employee for whatever reason went into the basement with a piece of wood and started playing with it.
No, he wrote like his name all over it.
It was strange as shit.
So just perfect evidence that it was us messing around in the basement, wasting time. So, we could go on and on for years about this, which is, why we could probably write a book. But,
definitely.
Employees for us used to be they were absolutely a necessary evil. We thought there were no good employees, and we were miserable because of them. And our work was so much harder than it needed to be. And once we really started to put an emphasis on hiring and actually change our attitudes towards hiring, we started to find the best people. And this isn't just me saying this, and this has been going on for a very long time now. So we've proven it. It's not just like a streak of luck. But we have excellent employees, not just good ones, like excellent ones.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say every single employee we have is a dream and amazing, but the ones that aren't an A+ get replaced with A+. And that's true 100%. So we've really figured it out, I would say. It's not perfect, but it's really...
It's come a long way over a period of 4 to 5 years.
Night and day. Yeah. So this is why we say all of these things, because we've realized that these myths are absolutely false. And until you can kind of turn around your attitude about hiring, you're never going to be able to hire good employees, which will just make your life that much harder and your business that much less successful.
Yeah, that's so true. It's all about your people. If you don't have great people working for you or working with you, you're gonna struggle hard. It's gonna suck. You're gonna really dread waking up in the morning and having to do work because everything around it. Because the people that you surround yourself with can either make or break your experience, regardless of whatever you're doing. And it's all about the experience. You're gonna have, if you're surrounded by really good people that you don't mind speaking with and enjoy speaking to. It makes everything a lot easier, believe me.
Yeah, or at least people that aren't going to freaking drive you up the wall, that have a brain and can function.
Right.
Really
basic adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really like, you should never discount this topic. We may make actually like several other podcast episodes, with more information.
Definitely. Yeah. We'll get into the practical and maybe some tips on what to look for, different hiring methods. We use a pretty unique hiring method. I don't know if we'll exactly share what that is, but we'll get into some more practical tips. But this is just for us, like the foundation for hiring. If you believe these things that we mentioned, then you're screwed. Honestly, you're never gonna have good employees, and you're gonna struggle. But if you can kind of take what we said and take it to heart and turn it around, then hiring can become easy. It's really become that for us. It's not even a thing that we worry about at this point. So, yeah.
Yeah, we could go on forever about this, but we got to cut this. We gotta
get move on. The
idiot fact of the day. All right. That was Jinx.
All right, you owe me a Coke.
All right. No, I won't.
Okay.
All right. So today's idiot fact of the day. So. This one's interesting, guys. It's this actually proves the idiot entrepreneur name, by the way. So President Coolidge had a childish sense of humor, in case you guys didn't know. So believe it or not, the 30th U.S. president thought it was hilarious to push the emergency buzzer on his desk and then hide when the Secret Service came running. Yeah. So,
yeah, probably give him a couple heart attacks.
yeah, I mean, you can imagine like the president hitting the emergency buzzer in the Oval Office, and Secret Service comes running in, like freaking out, and he's
under the
laughing.
desk,
He's
giggling.
laughing underneath the desk. Yeah. I mean, it goes to show you could be president of the United States and still be a freaking idiot.
Total idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, just remember that, guys. That's what Idiot Entrepreneur is all about, is reminding you that no one is smarter than you. And actually, when you realize that, it changes everything. We said that in our very first episode. If you realize that when nobody's smarter than you, everything changes.
Yeah, you just have to constantly remind yourself of that, like kind of John's story at the beginning. Today we had to remind ourselves, like, oh yeah, we're nobody's ahead of us. It's just,
Yeah, everybody's doing things differently, and people may come off in a certain light, but they're really just dumb behind the scenes or don't know what they're doing. Or maybe, but you know what I mean? I'm kind of making a point.
I mean, yeah, people are everybody's at different stages in business or in life. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. But, what we do know is that nobody's a genius. Some people are, I guess, but nobody is really just, got it all figured out, even though they may appear to.
Yeah, you learn shit along the way, and you learn things as you go, especially in business, and very true in life. So one step at a time, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all we got. It's our episode.
All right, guys. Until next time, we'll
Don't forget to share the podcast, obviously, if you liked it.
Yeah, good point. Good
rate us, review us if you don't mind. We'd like that, unless it's a bad review, I guess, in which case don't.
Yeah,
but just please share it if you got any value out of it. And stay tuned for more hiring topics and other brilliant
ideas and topics.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Till next time.
All right.
See ya.
Goodbye.